February 25th, just briefly we'll go over what we're working on with Ethan. Forehand side is ahead of the backhand side. His backhand has been trailing a little bit. Go hold your racket in ready position. Okay. On the forehand side, his grip is okay. He goes a little bit high position one when he starts off. His right leg goes across his body. We need to try to eliminate that. We need to get him to stand a little bit more sideways, a neutral stance when he swings. Goes behind a little bit, but not too bad. His follow through and extension is actually pretty good. He stiffens up when he gets to about contact point and tightens his hand. But overall, he has a long stroke on the forehand side. We were feeding him from the hand feeding him at the baseline. He's able to successfully get it over from at the baseline. Has more success at no man's land. I did a little bit of net feeding from him standing at the baseline, and he was able to successfully get it over. So he's making decent progress on that. Backhand side is behind. What we're trying to make sure is he has the correct grips, or he has the grips that I want him to use for this hand, right? Wait, no, this hand. Make sure move it over. Move it over. All right, there we go. So we move it over a little bit like that, so the knuckle is like on that bevel right there, on towards that side of the bevel. And this hand right here is sort of like a forehand Eastern grip, or forehand a little bit before a semi-Western grip. And he has gaps at the bottom of his hand. Like he'll put gaps like in between the palm here, because he'll take ready position. He puts it really low, and so he creates this gap like right there. We can see the gap right there, and we want to eliminate that. So we tell him gaps is the key word we use, and he brings it up like that, just an elbow bend, and that causes him to go ahead and close the gap. We don't want him to close the gap by squeezing the grip tight, because that defeats the purpose. We want his hands to always be loose. So when he turns, we have to remind him continuous motion from the very beginning. Yes, continuous motion from the very beginning, right? Because go turn. He waggles that racket up there, up high, up. As he turns, go turn and freeze right there. This is generally not the way it is. He's got a gap there. It's up higher, and he like waggles it. We call it a maraca. We don't want him to be doing that shaking. He needs to point the butt cap towards the ball a little bit more. We did that last time, but today we didn't really talk about that too much. He's getting the ball over the net. He's having actually quite pretty good success over it. There's no forward spin on the ball. It's all side spin or back spin. So he has to learn to come over the ball. But for now, his contact point is a little bit too close on the inside of his body. He needs a little bit more out to the side and out to in front. Brings the leg around too early sometimes, and so we got to sort of separate the top and the bottom of his body. He turns in like one stiff board, so we need to make this part up here flexible and this part here different flexible. So he turns like coils like a spring. Anything else? No? All right. So we'll see you next time.